All or nothing for Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the truth. Bitcoin has its one last chance to show worth, to get above that 30,000 and remain above it so we can start working towards the next area where they had sold from. Some will call it resistance, some will call it support. Who knows? Who cares? We're looking for movement. Mad love and respect to everyone passing through to the New York Live. Put smiles on your face, ladies and gentlemen, because we are about to witness some flavor hitting the charts. I'm going to break it all down for you. We've just had the news announcements coming out that the unemployment claims data has gone up, so more people are claiming benefit. That's good news to the Fed. However, word on the street does say that you don't need people unemployed to get control of inflation. Core price index does come in lower than estimates, so everything is all favoring the dollar dominance to go down. So assets against the US dollar should be going up. So we're going to be getting into the charts right now, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get with the flavor. Here we go. So what have we got in front of us? Well, earlier, just a second ago, I said there's stacked imbalances on the S&P, and I'm talking about these areas right here. You see these green things? This is suggesting that they could be getting ready to work up a little bit more, but we've got a little bit of a resistance. Why? Because we're at the value area high right here, and usually we see this as an area of resistance. So if they can hold this area right here, then we're naturally going to see price move away from this zone. Now, going back into the chart for a second on good old BTC, it's all or nothing on this point. Are we in the midst of a potential rise, retrace, continuation to the upside? Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now, it might not happen straight away, but we're looking for that narrative to come into play. Bitcoin could still be going sideways today, and that's the truth, because tomorrow we do have the core retail sales and the preliminary consumer sentiment. And this usually tells us where we are with inflation and what people feel. If people are feeling optimistic, happy days, man. People are pumped. So that's only going to naturally come into the economy. So now that we've got more people claiming benefit at 239,000, so more than what they anticipated, that's going to be giving us a different reading on consumer sentiment. Are people feeling like things are okay or not? Going into the chart of Bitcoin right now, guys, we really need to understand where we currently sit on the smaller time frames to understand if they have got the flavor to mark price up. So let's just go into the high block for a split second. And here is the liquidation levels. Right now, 800 longs in terms of liquidations, and above, we've got 800 shorts. 336 shorts. Right now, you can see that the retail trader who went short is paying the price. Now, we've got these clusters. Look at this. You see this area here? Clusters of buys. They've been liquidated. Clusters of buys sort of been liquidated, but haven't. They could be getting ready to mark price up a little bit more. Now, if we go into the heat map itself, we're going to see a very interesting area of liquidity that I really want to be focusing on. Look at this. You've currently got $4.4 billion worth of short liquidations at 30,600. Let's make sense of that. 30,600 takes us to where? Well, we've got the whole and half number principle right here, and we just go into the 30,600 zone there or thereabouts. Happy days, we are there. Now, can you hear me? Are we all speaking well? Yep, happy days. Cool. So that's where we've got $4.4 billion worth of short liquidations. Usually what Bitcoin likes to do, given that we've already got that profile already, you've got to move here, move here, move here. So it could be consistent with Bitcoin trying to spike up to eat that liquidity to try and come back down into the range in preparation for tomorrow's data. Because JP Morgan is releasing its news announcements or its earnings. Wells Fargo, the same story. They're going to get the party started off tomorrow, guys. So just remember that. There's going to be volatility in the markets tomorrow as well. Okay, now let's just go a little bit closer into Bitcoin, break everything down from there. Let's have a look at Exo Charts for a second. So look, what I mean about stacked imbalances, you see this here, all these green imbalances. This is where aggressive buyers are coming in, and what you want to see is you want to see aggressive buyers coming in at the lower areas of the candle as opposed to the higher areas, because that's just like retail coming into the chart and buying and hoping for the best. Now Bitcoin has yet to break above the value area high, which is this area here. Usually if it does succeed at breaking this area, we're going to see an influx of liquidity coming in. Now, 30,600 goes all the way up here, ladies and gentlemen. So that's quite a far distance. And that would be them seeking value to move price even more. So it might take a little while for them to get to that point. But if the volatility comes in and the futures markets open at 2:30, which is in the next 20 minutes time, we're going to see that movement coming into play. What we really want to see is the S&P continuously moving higher. It's come away from its VWAP right there on the news announcements, and now we're just waiting to see if they can sustain this move. I'm not seeing that many sells coming in or imbalance sales to force price down. If anything, I'm seeing absorption coming in, okay? So the buyers are just picking up anyone that wants to sell because they're favoring higher prices, all right? But we've got to be very careful because Bitcoin likes to bounce. If it can release the value area high, which is at 30,300, then we're naturally going to see price working its way up even more. Now, going into the chart itself, let's go to the 5-minute time frame and make sense of the madness. So what we've got right here, guys, is we've got a move down, consolidate, no test of the daily open, and we are holding above this 50 EMA zone. Now, look at this cluster. You see this here? This is consistent with price getting ready to mark up and break higher. This is what we're looking for, all right? Because they've had the chance to recover the area, and they have done ever so slightly, but now they're looking to try and, in essence, get ready for a move up. Why? Because this is the way we are in the chart. They're running for stops. You can see that with the high block right there, 4.4 billion at 30,600, okay? Let's just understand the liquidity that's coming into the order book. Check this out. Oh, what's happened? Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Right. Zoom out on the Bookmap. What do we see? We see quite a bit of commitment. And look, they've just tested that VWAP. Again, that is important for us. Test of the VWAP, getting ready to mark up higher. 674 Bitcoin orders at 30,360. We're going in for 30,420. We've got 536 Bitcoin orders there. The idea is that if these guys can still hold and maintain their orders here and they stay static, we're going to see Bitcoin orders getting taken. So that means people are going to be looking at selling at the highest point. The order book isn't showing an imbalance just yet. If you look at the top right here, it will say usually a positive figure or a negative figure. It's usually in about 15s or the 16%. Usually when it gets to about 25%, that means there's a strong imbalance favoring higher prices on limit sells if it's a negative figure, or if it's a positive figure, it's limit buys. So then they're coming down to buy things up. Okay. Now, with that being said, if we zoom out just a little bit more, just to have a bit of an overview. Right. So what have we got? Most of the commitment is coming away from the VWAP. If you look over here, I don't know if you can see it with the size of my fat head, whatever it is. Here we go. You see this area right here? This whole zone is where they were able to grab traders' interests from that point. The logic suggests that if they can work their way up into that area, happy days, they're going to break through it. And the guys that were trying to sell here have met resistance in essence, and they've seen the buying pressure, and they're naturally going to get caught out, and price is just going to flush through that area. But it's all about whether or not Bitcoin can make it beyond this point. So they're still holding out. The futures markets aren't open just yet, so we need to make sense of that madness very shortly. Okay, so let me just go over and get some other assets up for you. Let's have a look at Euro. Euro moves up again. Let's get rid of that. Euro makes a nice little move to the upside on the news announcements. Happy days. It isn't stopping at the 110.50 zone. Going to the 15-minute time frame, you can see that as long as Euro's going up, that means dollar dominance itself is going down. So that means that the narrative says that people are favoring assets against the dollar. So GBPUSD is going up. Gold is going up. Bitcoin in principle should be going up. We're just waiting for the futures markets to open. Dollar dominance has broken a very critical area. And if you go into the higher time frames, they haven't yet broken this 104 zone. Okay, 104.5 hasn't been fully broken yet. They managed to break this area here, guys. Oh my days. Dollar dominance is just going to completely rip the range low. And we've got vector candle zones right here. The next area of support could take us down to the 99 mark. But then when we go over to the volatility index, you can see the volatility index is working its way even more, finalizing this vector candle zone. But we have got a wick that's already recovered the vector. Now listen, the volatility index, by the time price, if this price of the volatility index continues to go down, everything is going up. Okay? So you really want to monitor this, the VIX chart. Monitor the way it moves. If it keeps moving down, assets go up. When this goes up, assets go down, okay? So we're waiting for the New York markets, in essence, to really bring us the flavor. Going into gold, let's have a look at gold. Man, look at that. 2042 breaking out. Let's go to the higher time frames. We are so close to nearly an all-time high with gold right now. Unbelievable. Third hit to the high. Look left. They're recovering the vector candle region right there. Look at that. Still got a little bit more flavor for gold to take. Here we go. Let me just do that. Oh, what have you done, bro? There you are. Go into that zone. Happy days. 20,050, man. they can break that, then that is brilliant. That means that investors are stacking up. Now, the issue that I've got is, we're just going to pound itself. Pound is getting ready to break up. We're going to hit one of my alerts that we've got set there. Nice, clean move up. I'm just waiting for the futures markets to, in essence, come into play, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at Tesla. Tesla is trading negatively at the close of the session from last night. So we're looking to see if Tesla can actually come back up and potentially try and take some of these vector candle regions right here. Let's just go into Ethereum, because I know Ethereum has made a nice move up. See, Bitcoin hasn't made the move yet, but Ethereum has. And I know with all the upgrade stuff that's coming off, we're going to be in a very nice marketplace today, guys. But if you have caught any moves or any profits on Ethereum, make sure you take some money off the table, because Ethereum usually will like to come back, test the narrative, and continue back up. All right, so just be careful of that, because we have what is called a green vector candle continuation area. So that's what this is. If price can come down, it's going to continue from this area here to bounce back up. So it's just another opportunity for the market to load up on longs as price drops and continue to the upside, okay? But if you are already in a long in Ethereum, focus on the 5 and 13 EMA. As long as price doesn't break beyond these 5 and 13 EMA moving average, then you are in essence good to hold your long. But take profits on the way up, guys, because anything can happen. They can snap it all back down again. Let's go back into BTC right now. Here we go. So Bitcoin's coming back ever so slightly. I'm not really liking the idea of that. Can see maybe a little bit of a consolidation happening in the market. Go back into Exo Charts for a second. Let's have a look at what that's doing. All right, then. So Bitcoin's come away from the value area high right now. That's very important. I really want to see a vector candle coming into play with Bitcoin, because then that's going to suggest to me that we're probably going to see a reversal. But we hold out on the 1 minute time frame. Where we at? Here we go. All right. So remember I said to you guys about trading the 50 EMA, taking the 50 EMA off the 1 minute time frame and use the 200 and the 800 EMA. So here is an example of that situation happening right now. Look, so the idea is this. If price can hold this zone, it would in principle bounce away from this 200 EMA. So have we got ourselves what looks like a potential rise, retrace, continuation up? That's what we're looking for in principle, okay? Now, if they can't succeed at this area, then there's one more zone that Bitcoin could take, which is this area right here, because that's where they last were able to move price from. So if we go into the 30,133, bring up Exo Charts, 30,133 takes us beyond the actual point of control and going in towards the VWAP zone and maybe even lower down into this area here. So we would assume that this VWAP is going to be the absolute area of support if Bitcoin does work its way back down towards that zone. Okay, so we've got to be very careful. Now, Bitcoin is holding above the point of control, which is at 30,200. If it can't hold the point of control, then that means that at the point of control, there's less buyers, but more sellers, okay? And this is what you want to try and get yourself familiar with. If they can hold areas like this at the point of control and price bounces away from there, then you're in a more of a comfortable position to believe that price is going to continue higher on from that zone. But remember, the market has yet fully reacted to the news announcements. So whatever's happening right now could be an opportunity for them to load up on longs and get ready for a move back up, because the futures markets are not open, and they're not open for another 10 more minutes, okay? Let's have a look at some other assets. Go into USDT for a second. So USDT is a good chart for you to work out the psychology of people buying crypto and selling it, okay? As you can see, we have got these vector candle regions right here. They've come back into this vector candle zone. Happy days, because this is where someone originally sold crypto and brought and converted it back into USDT. So it's more of a psychological chart for me. My goal is to see USDT get down to 6.51%. What is that figure? Go to the 1 hour time frame, look left, and you've got yourself a huge vector zone right here. This would be the absolute area, or should I say the absolute high for Bitcoin in the near term, where we would see USDT hypothetically turn from, because that's where people started to get into USDT and they didn't want to risk having any exposure in Bitcoin. So as long as we see price continuously moving down from here, happy days. Bitcoin in principle should be moving up, which suggests that people are buying Bitcoin. All right, cool. Let me just go over to the dollar yen, have a look at dollar yen for a second. So now dollar yen has actually invalidated what looks like a level 2, and it's cut down into the psychological areas and come back into the green vector candle region right here. The only way that this structure, or this big W formation, can get invalidated is if dollar yen breaks beyond the 129 zone, okay? So this is usually consistent because you can see you've got a smaller pattern, smaller cycle within a bigger cycle, all right? So what the idea is this. If we get rid of all of this, the idea suggests the following. You've got a W formation, rise up, level 1. We always anticipate a retrace once there is a W formation that has formed. So let's just look at the chart right now. Can we assume that? W formation, rise up, bigger, level 1. So the logic suggests that we expect support to come into play from this zone to see dollar yen move up. That's what the 1 hour cycle suggests, okay? Inside of here, you've got mini cycles. So you've got W formation, rise up level 1, rise up level 2, rise up level 3, peak formation, drop level 1, drop level 2, drop level 3, peak formation, shift out. So cycles within cycles, patterns within patterns. That's how we use this logic of a weekly cycle. And if you are new to the channel, you don't know what I'm talking about, check the W formation, rise up level 1, retrace, rise up level 2, retrace, rise up level 3, retrace, drop level 1, drop level 2, drop level 3, peak formation. Done. This is a weekly cycle. This area right here is a level 1. So you anticipate when it can hold away from this area here, where the last area of manipulation was, that suggests that they're getting ready to work higher. So you're looking for the next target, which would be a level 2 rise to the upside. Happy days. The same principle applies on level 2. And then by the end or midpoint of the week, we would expect a formation for them to try and reverse it back down again. And the same thing applies on the way down. So you've got level 1 rise, level 2 rise, level 3 rise. That's the logic of this. So this is a weekly cycle. So whenever you do pull up an asset, try and see if you can see where you are in terms of a weekly cycle by that utility right there. Now let's go back into Bitcoin for a second. What we got here. Is it doing anything for us? We're not really seeing the movement yet, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we've got some very small movement back in. It looks like that 1 minute structure seems to be working so far, so good. So the 200 EMA might look like a bit of a support zone. So we're going to see if it can actually hold out to try and work its way back up. Just go to the 15-second time frame for Bitcoin to make sense of this. Is there any vectors back down? Here we go. We've got some vector candles up here. I'm not really seeing some promise, but we've come into a zone of consolidation where they actually moved away from in this area. So something's going to happen inside of this area here. As long as they can sustain it, then we would expect Bitcoin to try and work its way back up. Going into Exo again, where we are, still holding above that point of control. S&P still holding out in this area, not selling off as much as I would thought it was. So we could see a little bit of support coming inside of this area right here. That's what we're looking for. A nice support zone because that's where you've got stacked imbalances. We expect them to come in and work their way up. If they can't hold that zone, the next area of support would be the VWAP right there to hold out and then initiate a move higher again. But again, the markets will open in 7 minutes time, so we're not going to know fully if that's going to come into play. Going to the 5 minute time frame. Let's have a look at some altcoins while we're at it. Let me just go over to my altcoins, altcoins watch list. Where we at? Here we go. All right, and Solana currently smashing it to bits, going up. We expected that in a way. We got to see the movement spike up from yesterday. Happy days. So now Solana's made a nice move, and you know what the treachery is with all altcoins. They like to spike up, then they come back down. You can see that is evident with Solana right here. All you got to do is just look at the way they move. This is context. What is the market showing you, okay? Try and get in your minds and have an awareness of the psychology of why people are going to buy and sell. We're programmed to believe that price rising is a reason for us to buy. That's why you see on the high block where the biggest transactions occur. Just take this logic in your trading just before you go long. Ask yourself, would the average trader go long in that area? Just look at this. Here we go. Look, you see this area? This right here, $70 million worth of longs were open at 30,338. All right, look what happened straight after. Came back down. Just before that, as it was going up, because the psychology of this area here is what? Oh, Bitcoin's moving up. I'm going to miss out on an opportunity. Right, I'm going to get in. Cool. It goes in their favor, but they don't pay themselves. They hold on to dear life. Then they get their liquidations hit. Now, we've got some more liquidations down here for these guys right here. So if they ain't paying themselves, they're going to end up paying the price. That's the truth of the market, okay? So always ask yourself, when you decide to go long, are you going long at the highest point? Or are you going long in an aggressive move up? Or Should you be going long as they're pulling back? Classic example would be right here with Bitcoin. Let's go back into it again. Here we go. 1 minute time frame. These are the sort of areas you run longs from when price is going down, because the bigger players ain't going long when price is rising. All right? Now, of course, daily time frames, 4 hour, it's a different story. I'm talking about shorter term time frames. And once you familiarize yourself with the way they move up and down, you're then going to be aligning your mind to be like more focused on what retail's doing as opposed to what a strategy or a system is doing. Okay, you're focusing on retail's behavior. Right, what we got? 5 more minutes until the flavor comes into the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is still holding out. Just need to go into the Bookmap itself and have a look at what we got. So, right, they're coming back down again. I'm not really seeing anything aggressive happening. I'm not too concerned about what's happening in the charts. I've got a big order right now. 773 Bitcoin orders at just above 30,240. 1, 2, 3 hits again, but they're holding above the VWAP. This area is make or break for Bitcoin. The market has a good reason to go up because unemployment claims have come in line with what the Federal Reserve needs so they can work on their inflation mandate. And then, of course, core price has actually come down again. Okay, so the PPI, that's good news for us. All right, so we're going to wait and see. Once we do get the initiation of a move, that 750 right there is looking promising, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like a promise as long as they can hold out. If you can see this area right here, because what we're looking for is we're looking for the same traders that were here in longs over in this side to start coming in at this point. We don't want this to be a resistance because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, nearly 6 hits in this same bloody area. Come on, man. When's Bitcoin going to bring that flavor to us? When's it actually going to make the move? Let's go into Exo a second. Let's see what we've got. All right, so just for my more advanced traders right here, you see over here, this is the push stack profile, all right? And what happens in this area is where people are putting limit buys and canceling them or making sure that they stay there to hold price. Likewise, you've got that on for the sells as well. And what I'm seeing is you've got a lot of guys that are looking to cancel sells and a few guys are favoring buys here. So they're trying to hold price in this zone. So it looks like they're trying to hold out on the point of control. I really want to see it work its way back up to value area high because there's a little bit of an imbalance up there. And I would want to see them fill that order because there's orders up there, people just waiting to get filled. So if they can find their support in this area right here, it's happy days to the upside. I'm not seeing the imbalance just yet on S&P. It's not really bringing me no flavor. I'm looking at it right now, holding at also its point of control. So we're at a very critical point in the chart to decide as to whether or not the same guys who went long here are going to come back in here and start marking price up again. Here we go. Bitcoin so far. Right, this is one important thing as well. Those of you that use the 50 EMA cloud, you see the cloud, the lower band? Right now, we've got ourselves a situation where if they can get beyond this area here, we're going to probably start working our way up, okay? That's what we're looking for. If they can succeed above this cloud area, the lower band of the cloud, they get beyond the lower band, then we have the upper band that's going to act as an area of support for us. So as long as they trade inside of this area right here, because that's what you would logically want to see happening, all right? You want to see it try and break out so that it can price, can then move up, and hold in that area. That's what we're looking for, okay? Starting to see some action, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2 minutes until the market actually opens up. Here we go. How many of you in the room with me today? 1,200 of you in the room today. Mad love and respect for passing through. We're not really seeing the movement just yet, guys, but we will get the move very shortly. 2:30 is coming down, 28 minutes. What have we got? Here we go. We want to see them come into here. That's what we're looking for. We want to see those orders come in. 780 right now. 780 orders on the Bookmap right there. Closing it off. 760, 780. They're adding to orders here. Keep getting cancelled and taken away. Let's see if they can actually do it. Let's see if they can actually break higher into this in. Come on. The VWAP's right there. VWAP's currently roughly around 30,120. Markets are opening in 1 minute's time. Let's see if we do get the volatility, because remember, waiting for the market to react to the idea of the news of unemployment claims. So it's going to get a little bit tricky right now. So just give it a second. Here we go. S&P's trying to climb up to that 4,130 zone. Bitcoin starting to show some activity. Come on, let me just zoom in closely. I want to keep an eye on that 7,150. Here we go. Big delta negative right there. That's good news, and it's not breaking down, coming away from the VWAP itself. Happy days. Come on. Make the move, 30,230. Come on, Bitcoin. Up it goes. We're going to go. I hope we can get that 30,600, man, because that's where the $4.4 billion worth of short liquidations are currently stacked at. Bitcoin is working. Green vector candle should come into play right here. If a green vector candle appears here, I'm going to be a little bit concerned about it. Ah, man, look at that. Straight away, green vector candle comes in. I hope that this starts the move above the 50 EMA. First green vector candle that appears above the 50 EMA would suggest that we're getting ready to start seeing some movement in the chart. We're seeing S&P starting to make a move right now. Bitcoin hasn't fully made the move just yet. S&P is just trying to bounce up and down inside a specific zone. Let's just get into Exo right now. See, it's playing about. Markets have opened, so the futures markets are now absorbing the news information. We're going to see the truth of it coming into play. Bitcoin has come away from that point of control. That's good news, so we really want to see them hold this area. Stacked imbalances need to come in. Want to see green, like you see these dark green things. Here we go. We got one. Oh, we just got absorbed right there. 160, 185 right there. Still trying to hold out. We do have the VWAP as ultimate support for that zone. Here we go, starting to work its way back down. Let's see if they can trap enough shorts in and reverse price back up. Is Bitcoin going to bring the flavor? S&P's doing it. Really want to see S&P just bring the flavor and come back up into these finished auction zones right there to grab those traders who are set up there hoping that they get an order filled. Let's go back into price. Bitcoin's hold out on that green vector. It's good that it's recovered it, but it hasn't gone down beyond the 50 EMA cloud. That's a good sign for us. S&P is pulling up some madness right now. Got to wait for the market to just stabilize. At 917 Bitcoin orders at 30,340. Well, let's say 30,350. That's good news. 917. So they've added nearly 200 Bitcoin orders to the top side on the idea that we're going to see price moving up very shortly. We've got confluences of the VWAP right there, holding out on the 50 EMA. We've got the rise, the retrace, continuation. Are they going to come back up into this area right here where we anticipate most of the commitment of traders to step in and go long from? Remember the high block. Look at where these guys went long, 70 million. So naturally the market's going to want to try and do something to get another 70 million or more at the highest point in the chart so they can get traders trapped. Here we go. So look, this is important. When you're trying to work out whether you take a long on the first green vector candle above the 50 EMA, if they recover it sooner, that's good news. So now you're waiting to see if this area is going to act as support. Because if they invalidate this area and drop, that's it. We're coming back down towards this area here. But until we see that happening, we are only favoring higher prices with Bitcoin right now. 30,500 would be a dream, but 30,330 is where we really need to see price going for Bitcoin to move up anymore. Look, the order book right now is still showing 914. It's still there, guys, and that's good news. We just got 533 Bitcoin orders down in this area here between the 30,250 zone. So we're seeing some madness happening right now. Come on, Bitcoin, man. What are you doing? You're taking too long. Come on, make the move. Why is price taking so long to move? Why is price frozen? What is going on here? No, it hasn't frozen. That's just me. Jeez. Well, Bookmap is moving up. Bitcoin should be moving up. S&P is now at 4,130. That tells me something. Bookmap, there you go. Bitcoin coming away from that point of control. Bang. We might have our area of support on the S&P if it can sustain this area. We really need to see the more. Look at the deltas. Can you see the green? You see how green, 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 green? These are deltas, so they're testing this zone with strength. The buyers are being tested, and they're trying to hold out around the point of control right here so that we can get an initial reaction to flush up price and move up. That's what we're looking for. And as long as Bitcoin stays above the point of control at 30,200, it's happy days to the upside, ladies and gentlemen. That's the truth. Here we go. See, now we're going down. Now we're coming back down again. So now we're getting information. So this is an area where you initiate the potential for a trade and you're waiting to see, because you're not missing out on anything or getting in the right entry. You're not missing out. You're waiting to see the proof of the move. You've got VWAP down here and you're waiting to see if they can hold within this cloud. As long as it's within this cloud, we've got no momentum as such. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Waiting to see if Bitcoin's going to attack those liquidation points. Okay. Where is it? 4 billion liquidations. That's what we're looking for. All right, now it's coming down, okay. 764 Bitcoin orders up there, so they've now canceled 200 Bitcoin orders. That's not good, if I'm honest with you. I'm not liking that. Come on, Bitcoin. What you got for me? 5-minute time frame. So we now have what looks like an M formation, but they're still holding above this area here. That's what we're looking at. Still holding on the 5-minute time frame. So as long as we've got that support right here, Bitcoin can go up and down as much as it wants in this area. Okay? Now listen, if you decide to run any longs, okay, be realistic about your exit. Okay? Don't run along from here and put your exit at this point where price can go. Where price can go to the last point it reversed from. Why would you put a stop there? You see the logic? Doesn't make sense you doing that. You put it in an area where you would then say to yourself, if it comes back down towards this point right here, there's a good chance that if it can't show support there, it's going to continue, because the last time they were there, people went long, okay? People were getting trapped short, market maker went long. If he brings it back down to that point and you've got to stop there, you're getting shaken out. See what I'm saying? Here we go. Got some flavor coming in now. Bitcoin's doing it. Good news. Let's see, go 1-minute time frame, what we got. So now we're waiting for the test. Good news. Come on, Bitcoin, man. Make that break. Take that 927. So they've just added it back in again. 200 orders. When you're focusing on the order book and you see they take away 200 Bitcoin orders, then they re-add 200 Bitcoin orders, you're getting a profile as to who is actually getting ready to sell from that point, because orders above here are actually orders getting ready to sell. Okay? Green vector again, stopping volume candle on the 1-minute time frame. Whoa, we got some movement. S&P's taken a bit of a dump. Hold on. What's going on here? S&P back into the VWAP. Coming into an imbalance here, possibly. We've got to see the support coming into play. Futures markets are in. We've seen the movement. Not much movement at the start. This could lead to a reversal. Just sit tight. There could be a reversal coming in here. They did this yesterday, and they keep doing this. S&P always does this. Stop hunt, reversal, start with the narrative, and start loading everything up. Bitcoin's doing very well right now in this area, okay? Still holding, waiting for a reversal to come into play. That's what we're looking for. Bitcoin might not do it straight away, but S&P probably will. Let's see if they decide to do it. What we got here? Still holding that VWAP back into that zone there. Stopping volume candle. Go to higher time frames for a split second. Are we seeing it? Still holding that zone. VWAP, S&P again. There we go. Now we've got to see the reversal coming into play here. Is it going to happen? Are the same guys going to step in? Back at the VWAP point. Bitcoin's broken its point of control. So this is all or nothing for Bitcoin. Otherwise, it's just going to rip lower if it can't hold this point of control. Bitcoin really needs to hold that zone. S&P's coming down. Still going, but I'm not really seeing that many imbalances. Come on. No buy stepping in yet. Bitcoin still below the point of control. Coming down to the VWAP. We know what they like to do at the VWAPs, guys. We know they like to reverse from those points. Here we go. Stacked imbalance. Imbalance is coming in, sorry. Is this our reversal? Come on. Lift it. Bitcoin coming back up. They really need to do it. They really need to shift it out. Let's just go over here a second. Have we got anything else coming out? Okay, Bank of Governor, he's actually talking right now. G20 meetings. Other than that, we don't really have anything going off in the charts right now in terms of news announcements. Bitcoin really needs to hold this area here. We're still inside of our zone. Still holding the VWAP right there. XAUUSD, here we go. Waiting for that. No imbalances to the sell side. Looks like our reversal point's coming into play. Bitcoin's going back up. Happy days. Usually do this stuff. Here we go. Want to see them hold out. You know, as long as it's not a false move, we should actually see this move up right now. And Bitcoin's holding that point of control. That's good news. Again, coming away from the VWAP. This has to be the point that Bitcoin moves after such an aggressive sell-off. Look at that. Holding out. Yippee-ki-yay. Here we go. Come on. S&P's reversed. Look at that. Stop hunt low, shift out. Trap the traders, trigger the orders, and up they go. Now we want to see if they can hold it, because it's clear as day that there's interest in this area here. Get back up above that point of control, 12,000. Get to value area high. That'll be a decent day. Bitcoin still above that point of control right there. Let's go into order book. Here we go. 747 Bitcoin orders at 30,350. Still no cancelling of them going actually any lower. Bitcoin's held out again. It's a tricky situation, man. It's one of those. This is the make or break. If Bitcoin holds out here, then we're shifting up. That's where we're going. And are we getting the clues from the order book? 748 orders right there, still static, and they're not closing them off. All right? That's good news for us because it means that there's commitment coming into the chart. Nothing much is happening here. So we just got to be very patient with it all. Good little reversal from the S&P. Want to see if it can withstand it and hold. Otherwise, I'll just roll over and recover the whole wick and do it again. This is very important zone. Testing of the VWAP. They should reverse from this point on the S&P. Should be going up. And Bitcoin would usually follow suit, and it's holding that point of control. We're expecting price to move up. 748 Bitcoin orders stacked there again. I haven't seen the commitment of 200 more coming in just yet. But hopefully if it starts moving up, then we could see that actually coming into play. Let's go there. Still holding out. Not good. Come on, Bitcoin. Now it's coming back down again. S&P still rolling over. Not really seeing... It's usually between now and 3 p.m. when the Brinks box forms. This is what you actually see. All right? Markets absorbing information, absorbing news. Let's just quickly go over to Tesla for a second. Have a look at what's going on there. Tesla's up nearly 1%, man. Look at that nice little gap up right there. Happy days. Fill the gap. Recovery of the green vector candle. Shift out to the upside. That's usually what you're looking for. Okay, look at that. Well, they've actually filled the gap in principle. Now they're just going to try and hold out. We want that vector candle region right there. That's what we're looking for. And that's on the 15-minute time frame. Nice little W formation on Tesla. Hopefully that actually plays out and works in our favor to come back up. Happy days. Give me your assets, ladies and gentlemen, while we're waiting about it. Come on, Bitcoin. Give me that flavor so I can leave my people and let them trade. What's going on here? All right, then. This usually happens to me. All right, then. Cool. I just did it again. I just deleted my stuff, man. All right, then. Get rid of that. Happy days. Whilst that's working, let's go back into the order. Here we go. 745 again. Not really interested. Here we are. Go 1 minute time frame. Okay, then. Assets. MATIC. So I've got some of those here. MATIC. Climbing up. 15-minute time frame. Big push up here from MATIC. All right, so we are now at the value. Yeah, we're at highs right now for MATIC. Double top formation, maybe M formation. We've got a vector candle region right there that we've got to be careful of, which they could take. As long as Bitcoin can sustain this, we've got a green vector candle continuation zone right here, which would suggest that we expect further movement by MATIC to come down to test to continue up if they can sustain it. Otherwise, the stopping volume candles right here are going to be a bit of a problem for us, as you can see right there. Now, next assets. Let's have a look at GALA. Let's have a look at GALA, USDT. Consolidating sideways, that's okay. Most altcoins are doing that. Listen, most altcoins that are above the 50 EMA, just be mindful. They have a capacity to come back and test those. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. Happy days. So yeah, just be mindful of the altcoins above the 50 EMA. That's what you want to be paying attention to, because then they're going to retrace back into them. Not really seeing the flavor right now, guys. What else do you guys want? FTM. Actually, I'll tell you what I can look at. Happy days. Ah, look at that. FTM's coming back down again. Classic. Look, away from the 50. Now it's come back down to test into that zone. So again, any altcoins above the 50 EMA, let me know so I can just check them out. Let me have a look at HBAR. HBAR's doing well. Climbing up. Quite a lightly traded asset. Got to be careful with that. Dogecoin holding out. What have we got with S&P? Is S&P doing anything right now? Still holding that area. They've come back in to recover that area. Really want to see the commitment coming into that point. Bitcoin back down below the point of control. We're just waiting for the commitment to come in. We're in the Brinks box right now. What else have we got? Tino, Dixie. Let's have a look at Dixie. Dollar dominance is going down. That tells us Euro is going up. Oh, my days, man. Principle says that Bitcoin should be getting ready for a move up right now. It has to be getting ready for a move, okay? Euro is on its way up, going into the London Brinks, M5 formation right there, okay? So that suggests to us that we've got some interest coming in. I'm seeing interest coming in S&P right now. Bitcoin should be making a move now. Bitcoin needs to be making the move. It takes a little while, but it always does this. It delays itself, and it doesn't actually give us the flavor. S&P's moving. That means Bitcoin should be doing it. It's holding below the point of control. Might take a little while, but once they get beyond this value area high and S&P keeps moving up, Bitcoin should follow suit as well. No movement just yet from Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Is she doing it? Ethereum's holding out. Jasmy Coin still doing well. It's climbing up nicely. These altcoins are just crazy with the way they move. XRP consolidating sideways is what I don't like. It's when it does this sideways BS right now. Not really seeing the flavor coming in just yet. Let's go over and look at gold. Gold is still holding out. It's Euro that's leading the party, guys. Euro's leading the party. NASDAQ, here we go. Point of control, spike up, vector candle recovery. Nice little projection there that we played into. I'm still waiting for that S&P flavor to come in. Here's the S&P right now. Still got a zone that we want to see them come back into. Red vector candle region holding the 50 EMA right here. There's a validation for that. We're still in the Brinks. Look at this. You see this area here? This is the Brinks box. When that finishes, which is at 3 o'clock, which is in the next 15 minutes, then you're going to have a clearer look at where the market is going to end up. Oil. Let's have a look at oil. All right, listen. They're talking about oil going to $100 a barrel, okay? Now, I'm going to be doing a video later on tonight talking about that. But if oil can sustain this move, we're going up towards our next band, which is this area here. Takes us towards the 87 mark. This is where oil's got some vector candles on the smaller time frames because this is on the 8-hour time frame. So just be careful of this area with oil, okay? They're breaking the 800 EMA on the 8-hour time frame. No retraces back down. Remember, oil is a commodity, and any news that you hear about any overseas players causing issues, OPEC, Saudi Arabia. By the way, Saudi Arabia is taking water from the Arizona, stealing water from there. No one's saying anything to them. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, still currently at that 800 EMA, so just keep an eye out on oil in this area. Just mark it off. I think it's, yeah, $82.73 is that area right there, okay? Now, let me just go over to the US 30 for anyone that does trade the US 30. Go to the 1-hour time frame. They're just selling off a little bit. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not really seeing that much of an aggressive sell-off. Green candle, red candle formation. 13 minutes time, we're expecting the next candle to come back up and recover this red vector candle zone. So just be careful of this if you're trying to run shorts on this because they may hold out in this area. And this pattern right here is consistent with a move up. Stop, hunt, rise, bring it back down, stabilize, and then try and reverse back up. The only way it invalidates it is if price does close beyond the vector candle, this green vector candle here. We can have a wick, but what I found is in experience, every time they do this, the next candle will try and recover some of the wick to shift out and go even higher. So just be mindful of that, okay? Going into Tesla again, still holding out, getting ready to move up. Apple, big gap up in Apple, filling the gap right there. That's a good sign. And we're starting to see some movement right now. Is Bitcoin going to make the flavor happen or not? Just before I go, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Okay, so it looks like it's acting... Something's brewing here. I need to get the 5-minute time frame up. Are we going to get the flavor to the upside? Come on. Let's go into Bookmap. Still holding out. 750 Bitcoin orders. Okay, the logic suggests that if they hold this zone, price should be going higher. All right? If they can stay above the point of control right here, price will be going higher. And we'll go into that value area high zone where they're going to start seeking value. But remember, if they break higher beyond the value area high, which is at 30,300, that's where you would naturally expect reversals to happen in the value area high zone. Because there's not many people here buying. There's 355 orders here, so they could mark it up towards that area and then reverse back down. When you decide to take a trade on that principle, make sure you have an awareness of where price is being sold from. That way you're not caught out in holding on to dear life for a trade. Okay? Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today, man. Mad love and respect for passing through. We're going to be doing a video later on tonight talking about what madness has been happening in Florida. More importantly, this story about water with Saudi Arabia and how oil is probably going to be the next gold. Mad love and respect, ladies and gentlemen. Trade safely, and I'll catch up with you later. Peace.